So friends, today I'll be covering 29th December 2017. I had been missing couple of days because there was not any pertinent news that needed to be covered. Now with the triple talaq and Malegaon case, there are some issues which are relevant to our civil services preparation. So first issue is Malegaon test. So this is an article that has been written in Indian Express. This pertains to Indian security as well as polity. So it talks about that there is a special code that has been created for expediting the Malegaon blast case. Now, this is being often associated with the saffron terrorism. And this case has been, from the beginning itself, it has been controversial. Now, what has happened is, after three investigative agencies, three investigations, which are contradictory in different aspects, now the court has scrapped Makoka. Makoka is a very stringent law that is being applied on uh, organized crimes. So now that has been removed. Now there has been allegation and counter allegation that this case never stood overall, and it was being imposed just in order to garner political mileage by the last government. Now this case is a clear test of India's republic in terms of whether an individual should believe in secularism, how secular is the character of the Indian Republic. So whatever be the case, uh, what is sure that this case is going to drag for some time. Now there is one more thing that is related to. This is with respect to unity in diversity, probably in GS1 that could be covered. So South Delhi Municipal Corporation. So this is a municipal corporation has now issued a controversial ban on public display of meat. SDMC has banned public display of non-veg item, citing that the pollution in Delhi can lead to spoilage and that could have health effects. Now, why this is being seen as a kind of a very narrow view in that first it has a communal angle, okay, and the other part that there has been no scientific study and research being cited, and it goes with a assumption that whatever vegetables we have, those vegetables won't get spoiled due to being exposed to pollution. Now, this is seen as more in terms of the state policy and vigilantism, which has been curbing a different freedom of that has been given to individual. Now, this is going to curtail and restrict an individual's freedom to eat and freedom to choose whatever to eat. And this is again, this is striking. This is not the first time. During 2015, that time there was a lot of allegation that were going in terms of when Maharashtra banned the beef. Thereafter, it banned the slaughter of animals of any kind, even the broilers. So that led to a huge political controversy whether the state really has power and authority to stop an individual from making dietary choices. And one fact that one should quote in these kind of cases that pertains to meat or others, this according to a survey by Registrar General of India, 2016, 70% of Indians are non-vegetarians. Sorry, non-vegetarians. They eat meat. Now, friends, as we are aware, triple talaq. This is related to polity. Triple talaq bill has been introduced in Lok Sabha, and it has also passed Lok Sabha. Now there has been a lot of discussion that is happening in the Muslim academia and Muslim fraternity with respect to criminalization of triple talaq. Now, so there is a kind of a discussion that is happening in the Muslim fraternity that when a Supreme Court has already banned a triple talaq, there is no need to have a criminalizing clause that has been introduced in the recent bill. In Muslim women marriage protection bill, that there is a criminalizing element in terms of an individual or a husband who uses triple talaq in any form, electronic form, written form, or verbal form, he will he can be incarcerated for 3 years. So again, Muslim community itself is divided on the gender line. Women are they are hailing it as a victory because this is going to bring forward a lot of gender equality. Also, the marriages were seen unequal. So in that aspect, this is going to reduce the mental torture and the distress that women always used to face in terms of there used to be always a possibility that their husband can unilaterally divorce them without even citing the reasons. That's an element. But Muslim academia, their synergy, it is pointing out that there is no need for having the criminalizing. And there is a very beautiful article that has been covered in the triple talaq in terms of the various arguments and the logic why there should not be a criminalization. So first, it talks about over criminalization. So triple talaq could be a case of over criminalization, something in which the criminalizing should not be there, but still we are doing the criminalization. And this should be seen as in the broader light of the two debates that are being going around. There is one debate, and these are the debates that are happening in the Supreme Court cases, whether the adultery should be it should remain a criminal act or it should be decriminalized, and other is whether marital rape should be criminalized. Both these discussions had been there for some time, so it should be seen in that light. Now, Law Minister is, while introducing the bill, has said that SC has held that triple talaq is sin, according to Muslim Sharia as well as according to Quran. So, pointing out this, the author points out if it's something is sin, why the God should not be allowed to punish the sinner? Why state wants to uphold the morality? So, in a way, if someone extends the Supreme Court argument that triple talaq is a sin, that's why the state is imposing some punishment in order to reduce the sin. It's kind of an external imposition of morality. And a legal system should not enforce religious morality. And another beautiful argument that it points out that Jeremy Bentham has said criminal law should be refrained in 3 cases. When there is no there is no evil act against the state, or in that element, there should not be any criminal law, because that criminal law is going to be inefficacious. When there is a disproportional punishment in terms of the punishment done by an individual is minute, and the punishment that has been given is huge. When the purpose of criminal law is to forbid and prevent misconduct, but it does not threaten the overall. So if by imposing that criminal law, there is a possibility that larger good is not going to be attained, there is no point in having that particular criminal law. So before criminalizing anything, state must demonstrate compelling reasons and a state interest why any particular act should be criminalized. Now, friends, moving on from polity to internal security, this is GS paper 3, and we have been hearing about this Act East policy for some time. For the uninitiated, prior to this Act East policy, we had Look East policy. Look East policy was unveiled by Prime Minister Narasimha Rao in 1991 that India should increase its engagement with the East Asian nations. And after the new government took in 2014, it not only strengthened this policy, but it took it to next level, and it was Act East. Rather than just looking east, we are going to assert ourselves. We are going to be more proactive in our strategic engagement. So this article is being written by one retired army general. he points out that there is a role of Northeast. So this particular argument is kind of a cliche in that sense that uh, when we are trying to interlink India with South Asia, Northeast is going to be interlinked. But this article beautifully points out why it is important for us to develop Northeast and how to develop the Northeast. And he points out that despite a lot of high level discussions and high level agreement that Northeast should be developed, and there should be a proper connectivity with the different countries, nothing has been translated on the ground. And he beautifully points out, like in case of Bangladesh, Bangladesh and India 10 years ago, they agreed on something that there's going to be huge connectivity that would be coming. So based on that, Bangladesh government and Bangladesh businessmen, they started doing preparation in terms of land acquisition. They had done the land acquisition. They prepared warehouses. The transit routes were being prepared. But even after 10 years, nothing has moved on the ground from the India side. So eventually, what is happening that those assets are now they are stagnant assets, and some cases that land has got diverted. So even if that particular project is implemented from the Bangladesh side, it is going to have a disproportionately high uh, cost overrun. Something which India's partners who had always been pointing out that India's record in terms of implementation of the infrastructure has not been that great. And it also cites the example of Indo-Myanmar. IMT trilateral is a much discussed. It's India, Myanmar, and Thailand. It's going to be a trilateral from Morha. Morha is a place in Manipur, and it's going to go to all the way to Thailand, as well as it's going to go to Myanmar. That's a huge trilateral highway we're talking about. It that's going to be somewhere around 3,000 kilometers or something long. Now, what is surprising is for connecting India with Myanmar, we need 80 small or large bridges. But there has not been plenty. There has been discussions, and as per the recent estimates, these particular projects would be completed by 2018, but it looks like that they will be delayed. So that itself shows that infrastructure is really not went beyond the priority. And the second element is the security of Northeast. So, friends, we will be most of us would be quite aware that Northeast have different tribal groups, and there is a good amount of tribal insurgencies. Myanmar, Manipur, Mizoram. These are some of the areas that have been hit by Naga insurgencies, and there are plenty of insurgencies. Now, author argues that yes, there is some improvement in terms of reduction in these kind of insurgency, but there is a need to complete it. Now we are moving to environment. Growing forest, we require a scientific national plan. Now center has not been still ready with CAMPA rules. So those uninitiated, CAMPA stands for Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act. So any large scale project or any real estate project, when it is deforesting for any development purpose, there is a provision that that particular implementing organization should put aside some money, as well as it should have an afforestation for the compensatory, but it has not been done. This compensatory afforestation has not been very successful either. It has resulted in patchy forest, and it points out the Sardar Sarovar Dam case. So we need a scientific national plan. So friends, there's a third article, there's another article, India's NAVIC. So India is right now going to use NAVIC for navigation system. India is planning to use commercial use of navigation. So this is using the 7 IRNS satellites that India had launched. So far, 30% of the roads have been not connected. Currently, government uses Bharat Map, but it does not have navigation. So GIS platform would be integrated with NIC. Thank you.